Somebody had asked me a question yesterday, and because they're not being a troll, I wanted to answer this properly and um, precisely as I can in this video. It's going to be a bit long. There's going to be some clever edits here because I haven't really done a clever edit video in a while or something like in this format. As you know, most of you know I've been doing this for 11 years. So some of you who have stuck around, thank you. For other ones, fuck you. But 11 years, no, it's been a long time since I really, I've done all these kinds of videos, and I wanted to answer. So the last video I worked on, I didn't do professionally, meaning I did no scripts, no fancy edits, no fancy backgrounds. Uh, Somebody said, why didn't I do a proper list? Why didn't I remember the names of characters in Star Wars? Well, look, the best of us and brightest of us cannot properly remember Sabine Wren or 41M1N or that other character in Star Wars Resistance. I don't even know what that weird, the one that looks like the Nintendo ROB robot from Star Tours, the one that you see in Star Tours. I don't even know what that guy looks, the guy's name is, that droid. There's so many characters in Ewoks and the Droids cartoons. Lumpy, Chewie's son. You try to remember everybody's names. There's enough Star Wars characters to fill a state. There's enough Star Wars fans to fill two states. It's tough. How do you remember them all? But to go back to why I don't do professional YouTube videos. When I was a kid, my parents would tell me, and other parents would tell their kids, if you want this thing, if you want this gold, this silver, these diamonds, these jewels, if you want to get this certificate, this bachelor's degree, this associate's degree, or if you want to become a great chef, or if you want to become a great entrepreneur, a lawyer, a doctor, whatever, you're going to have to work for it. You have to work for it. And most of the time that's true. Like with business degrees and law degrees, you probably could get somewhere, okay? I believe in the merit system. I believe that if you want something in this world, you have to work for it. When my mom did the McDonald's job, she worked hard. She worked night shifts, she worked day shifts, she worked afternoon shifts, and she worked at McDonald's when I was from kindergarten to up to the third grade. Okay, that was back in 1984, 1985, 1986, and up to 1987. My mom worked like a dog, and she was in her 40s. Okay, she was in her 40s doing this up to my age, and I had worked at McDonald's in my 20s. I believe in the merit system. The merit system that Vivek Ramaswamy from Ohio, the video game system, where if you do enough achievements, if you complete the level and you beat the boss, you get the princess, you get the gold star, right at the end of the Mario level. You get something. When you work hard, you do these tips and tricks. You get what you deserve, what you achieved, what you worked hard for. In that case, I would just say you work hard. Just work hard and you get the goal. When my mom was told by her manager, just work hard, do all these things, and you'll get to be manager, he gave the position to his girlfriend over my mom. Why does Charlie Brown do push-ups, sit-ups, squats, weightlifting, arm stretches, leg stretches, head crunches, foot crunches, bicycles? Why does Charlie Brown do laps? To kick the fucking football and Lucy pull football away. That is also true. Work hard to get the goal. That's true some of the time. Work hard to kick a football and get the football pulled away. That happens also. I was thinking about doing a topic about this, but I didn't have a focus. But now that I have the comment that I have for Star Wars, the 4D experience, I will now put these things in context. Take a look at these YouTubers that I was looking. This is what's been going on with these YouTubers from the 2000s. Look at that classic game room, Mark Bustler, Mr. Lord Carnage himself. He's not been on YouTube for a while. He's been doing some pinball videos. This is Pinball Arcade. And he's been doing this is for Pokemon Pinball and also Star Wars The Fall of the Empire. Sort of a newer one from Williams. Bally Williams Pinball. I, I think it's better. I mean, classic game room. It's not YouTube, but at least it's better than Mastodon or Vine or Blue Sky or some other website, some other social media that you're never going to find or you don't use. Just some far off, obscure social media platform. Who's going to go to it, right? And if you want to know much more about the criticisms of Classic Game Room and Mark Bustler, all you have to do is go on Reddit. And this is from Stephanie Sterling, formerly known as Jim Sterling. Stephanie Sterling, they, them, or she, her. I don't need to pick a fight with everybody on the left, whether you're woke on the left or anti woke or on the right. Um, I do agree with a lot of the bullet points. This is the last video that was posted over a month ago. And Stephanie goes over the problems with YouTube. And I'll show you some of this.
Routinely runs ads for gambling products has taken an ethical stance against gambling. You may not know, in which case you certainly haven't heard how YouTube, the website that routinely runs ads for gambling products, is signalling its ethical stance against gambling. Oh, it's a doozy. What it's doing is actively removing videos that are critical of gambling products while continuing to routinely run ads for gambling products. YouTubers was stripping away both context and meaning in discussions, making it harder to find resources on topics like mental health, and giving bad actors a free pass by removing their critics' ability to call them out plainly, such as calling a Nazi a Nazi. We're in a screwed up situation where YouTubers are scared to say the word Holocaust while talking about the Holocaust and use cutesy nudge nudge wink wink terms like unalived to describe real life suicides. And yes, it's called a suicide, not ending your life subscription. How the executives could be that stupid? Or if they somehow are, the results are indistinguishable from malice, with which stupidity has never been a mutually exclusive deal. It truly is amazing how YouTube found a laser-guided and harmful way to make me give a shit about this deadass channel long after I gave up caring about building anything with it. It's not the first time the cunts have done it, and it surely won't be the last. They always find a new way to get under my skin to make me worry about the state of this fucking hellhole. Thank genuine fuck I'm not dependent on this website anymore. My current job doesn't fill me with anxiety and the terror of knowing that I could lose everything at the imbecilic whims of overgrown children in business suits. And I advise anybody who's built a career on YouTube to plan for the same future. There will always be another adpocalypse, another secret policy change, another sudden shift in the paradigm that puts your business at risk. If you are a self-described content creator, do yourself the favor of a lifetime and start building your safety net now. If not, form to the point where it feels like the future's certain, and all it takes is a day. A day for the snowball to roll downhill so hard there's no climbing back up. Eventually, the algorithm you spent years trying to appease will zip the body bag of your content creator career when you've fallen far enough that it sees no utility in your channel. And as hard as Google's riding that regurgitative AI dick, you can be sure it's gunning for a future in which not a single one of its human uploaders has utility.
So I guess for me, I would have to watch my words on here. So I probably won't be using the S word that ends with an E. But it's how it is. I'm not going to deliberately spank the bear on the ass. But given my track record on TikTok and some videos that got canceled, because I've had this real problem with TikTok, and so with TikTok, they would censor things, and that's why I'm not on TikTok. I literally talked about John Wayne and the red wave versus communism and that the revenge came like 70 years later with the pandemic in 2020, and all that got muted on TikTok, but not here on YouTube. So far, so good. No problems with YouTube as far as getting videos canceled. I've had a handful of videos blocked. There's copyright claims. I've had international blocks, but that's about it. I would check to see what was happening with how many videos I'd have to watch or how many videos were watched. 3,000 hours, 4,000 hours with shorts. And it's tough. That goalpost is there, but then the views and the watches don't catch up. So big productions in a way are not worth it. They're not worth it. If you like big productions, if you want scripted stuff, you should go for it. But as of this moment, I'm not into big production. And when we talk about big production, having a script or having lights in the background, and I would say to the commentator, you're kind of used to big production shows where you have an applause sign, you have a clap, don't clap sign, right? You have an audience of hundreds of people. You have an executive producer. So I should have an executive producer over here, a director over there, a technical director in the background. I should have 20 people around me for me to make my YouTube videos. Um, and I was thinking of Jimmy Kimmel and what Jimmy Kimmel had done, making the jokes about the president, or actually about the president's wife, if you recall. This week in unnecessary censorship. Well, you can't censor Jimmy Kimmel and you can't censor Trump. And the thing about this is not the clip, of course, but I mean, here's a professional show. Here's somebody who has scripts, who has cue cards, and this is unrelated to what we're talking about, but I hear Jay Leno, Conan O'Brien say it's free speech what he wants to do. It's not free speech. And the main reason is because you have to pay the writers. You have to pay the joke writers to write your quote unquote free fucking speech. Do you remember the writer's strike of 2008? Oh, I sure do. I sure remember that writer's strike of 2008. Conan O'Brien and Jay Leno, they had a tap dance and talk about what happened on the way to work. They couldn't make up their own jokes because you know what would happen? The Writers Guild would shove a knife up their asses. They would sue them. Okay? And also, too, if what Jimmy Kimmel does offends the major shareholders of Disney, ABC, you see how quickly the CEO of Disney will cancel Jimmy Kimmel. Okay? But he's got his stupid woke audience. And yes, I get it. Stephanie Sterling's woke too, but I'm trying to kind of find a common ground for now. So that's where I am with that. So what I find is that, you know, and it kind of sucks, but Melania doesn't take any shit. But anyway, what I find is that, yes, your comment does remind me of something my sister would say. My sister does have one video up on YouTube. I will not direct you to it. I don't want family crossovers with people commentating. She has her soap business. That's fine. But she made this video years ago with graphics and captured footage and sound put in. Just get Final Cut Pro. Just get the best editing software. I find that I can do all these things. I can get the $1,000 microphone. I can get a purple lights in the background. I could have a better setup than what I have over here. See all these collections here? I could just make this the background of my stuff and be here's me, for example, being uh I'm the He-Man collector and let's talk about this topic, right? I can do all these things, but I have to do what's me. I recently broke up with Mattel over there trying to manipulate the rarity market, particularly over Mossman. So I can't really be this collector. And also Pixel Dan and Mega J Retro, Mr. Home Arcade, they kind of have this whole thing. This is why I stopped collecting toys, or I'm not a part of Club Grayskull. However, I may go to a convention soon and go back to collecting, but not on a large scale. But you gotta get the point as to why I don't. Hold on, I wanted to show you Castle Grayskull up there. I find that you can have all these expensive things and get 20 views at a time or 10 views at a time. And maybe I'll get a couple of likes. If I had hundreds of views, hundreds of likes, hundreds of views, 20 to 30 comments per video, okay? I find that you can do so little and get a lot, and then you do a lot. That's what my feeling is. You do a little and then you get a lot. You could be the expensive setup and get this much, okay? Or you could be the guy with the gray hoodie on his skateboard drinking an orange, orange slice soda? Or is it Orange Crush? Drinking it and not giving a shit. And you know what I'm talking about, that TikTok video. You know which TikTok video, where he just drinks the orange soda, and he got millions of views on TikTok. No fancy editing, no fancy graphics, maybe a little bit of sound, but you can edit in TikTok. And he got millions of views. You can get millions of views doing something. My most watched video is the original Pac-Man board game, which I have down here. Not this one. This one got 400 plus views. The original one got 600,000. 625,000 and climbing. And I thought, maybe I'll be a Pac-Man YouTuber. But my views went down after that board game. It went... So, I'm just not... I believe in putting the best amount of effort that I can. And then if I got hundreds of likes, hundreds of views, if there were 100 more comments just like yours, where say, I love this stuff. Wow, you really were informative. Can you get a microphone? Can you do capture footage? And 20 other people said the same thing, and they keep on saying it. Yes. If you wanted Dave Filoni to put the Yu Zhan Vong in future Star Wars stories, if millions of fans said, Dave Filoni, do this, Dave Filoni, put the Yu Zhan Vong in, the Yu Zhan Vong, as soon as your mom comes to visit you, will be in the next Star Wars, because too many fans push, like release the Snyder Cut. But if it's a couple of hundred people, Dave's not going to listen. So every day is a battle. Every day is a game of chess. So I believe in putting in a minimum amount of effort to get the point across. But every day I do better videos. This is all I've got. YouTube is all I've got. That and writing the next story, which is John Carter versus Mars, using public domain characters and making money off of those. And I'll figure that out. But that's what I want. That's how best I hope I answered your question. And I got to move on. It's either doing YouTube and this, or putting a noose around my neck, a gun into my mouth, ending myself. I don't know what else I can do. I don't get 10, 20 comments per video. I don't get 50 likes per video. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, even if I got the fancy equipment. So anyway, that's why I tell you, for me, I want to say two things. One is my thing that I say a lot, and my end phrase for every video. I like what I like, and I don't like what I don't like, because that is who I am. When it comes to politics or culture or things, I do what I do. And you work hard if you have to, you work smart when you can, but always work better.